بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We start with the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, and all praises is due to Allah, the Lord of the world. And we ask Allah to send peace and blessings upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and upon his family and his companions. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Jazakumullah khairan everyone for joining us for this lecture today. And today's topic is a topic that everyone is excited about, a topic that's always talked amongst the youth: getting married. Getting married, youth, relationships, and marriage. And for this topic, we have Ustadh Adli from the organization Khalid. And without further ado, I'll pass the floor to Ustadh Adli. Jazakumullah khairan, Ustadh Adli, for taking time out of your busy schedule. May Allah bless you.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي أما بعد. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise be to Allah. We praise Him, we ask for His help, we ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah for the wickedness of ourselves and for the badness of our deeds. Whoever can give up Allah guidance, then nobody can be misguided for him. Whoever is misguided by Allah, then nobody can be misguided for him. I bear witness, there is no God worthy to worship except Allah. Only Him, no associate for Him. And I bear witness that Muhammad is messenger, His servant. Oh Allah, give good prayers upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. And give good prayers upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. Oh Allah, bless upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. And bless upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. Very most worthy of praises and exalted in glory. Alhamdulillah, we praise Allah that we gathered today on topic that actually being discussed before concerning what related to your situation here. That I heard Allah Ma'alam what is the extent of the situation, I don't know. But at first they try to give the topic about the freedom of this. So even though I can study to our topic today about the marriage, because the boundaries or what we say as the encouragement of marriage is related to whatever you are in situation right now, because you are young, in youth, but afraid to go into the marriage part in your life. Like our friend, our staff said that many of youngsters, youth in our time today, they actually thinking about the liability on getting married. Getting married, liability. You have to take care of yourself and your wife and start to have your own house and everything. So many students or many youngsters doesn't really think about that. Even though we know that encouragement in Islam about marriage in early life is actually being said by the Prophet and even the Quran. Allah said in the Quran in Surah An-Nur, verse number 32. Allah said, وَأَنْكِهُ الْأَيَامُ مِنْكُمْ, and marry those who actually are bachelor or not married among you. وَالصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ وَإِمَائِكُمْ, and marry We make them to marry each other between your male slave and your female slave. In yakunu fuqara, if they actually are poor and are not wealthy, yughniyahumullah min fadlihi. Allah Ta'ala will surely make sufficient for them, enrich for them from His abundant bounty. So basically, Allah Ta'ala in the Quran basically saying that for us to make those who actually not married yet to be married. We know that about your situation in studying. So many of you will be thinking about the responsibility of marriage. Essentially, will stop you from focusing on your study. Even though at the same time, some of us essentially they give all their attention in the non-halal relationship more than we are studying. Not thinking about woman, the girl thinking about the boy. Even though you know that the relationship is not halal, not permissible. But if you want to make it permissible, halal, then you start to scare, being afraid about the situation. So if you really look into that, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala making sure that you should understand what your role in the society. Because actually, for a woman, sorry, I have to be frank with you all. For ages of women, that is actually the best age they have to conceive, to have baby is actually from 15 to 35. After you reach 36 and above, the doctors will say that you are not encouraged to have any baby because the conceiving baby, pregnant, will have effect on your health. So 15 to 35 is the best age for you to conceive or to have babies. Men, I didn't know that you don't have anything about that. Alhamdulillah, it's mine. But still, the fright or the feeling of afraid is actually more on the man or the guy than the woman. Because thinking about the responsibility and everything, many guys, many youngsters, they don't have that encouragement to get married in early life. Even though, like being said just now, in the Quran, Allah said in verse 32 of Surah Al-Nur, Allah said, وَأَنْكِحُوا الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ. Make married to each other those who doesn't have any spouses among you. وَالصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ وَإِمَائِكُمْ. Also, those who are the male slave and the female slave that is pious upon your slave. Make them to get married. If you afraid because they are poor, then Allah Ta'ala will enrich them. That is the promise. There is certain things that we say about marriage is actually will make you have wealth, insyaAllah. So in the Quran or in Islam, the way encouragement for marriage is actually there's two types. The first one is actually encouragement way, or in Arabic we say targhib. You say that you encourage them, you give promise to them things that actually good to get married in a young age. The first one is actually what we recite just now. Qala Allah Ta'ala wa antihul ayam minkum as-salihin min ibadikum wa imaikum. And marry those who actually are bachelor among you, and also those who are actually pious, good among your male servant and female servant. In yakunu fuqara, if they are actually poor, yughnihumullahu min fadlihi wallahu wasi'un alim. Allah Ta'ala will surely enrich them from His abundant bounty. Wallahu wasi'un alim. Allah Ta'ala really actually have great gift to give away, and also know who should get the gift. This is among the ayah that showing the command of God to encourage marriage, and also the Allah Ta'ala promise when you get married, the Allah Ta'ala will give you good economy, the good side in your economy. Things that actually sometimes people doesn't think about when you actually are alone. You are alone. So expenses is for your own self. You know that whenever you supposed to take care of anybody, like the father, I myself actually from a big family. My father was a policeman, but not the normal policeman. Actually, the police actually go into the jungle chasing the communists at that time. So we actually have 14 siblings. I am number 13 of 14. We have 6 brothers, 8 sisters. So big family. So really, actually, you really think about that. How can we, give nutrition for children that's that much? That numbers, 14. So if you think about the salary of a policeman that go into the jungle, not the policeman in the city, because we have said policeman in the city, people start to say, there's an side income for them inside the city, people will have that bad impression about the police. You understand when I say about that? So I said my father is a policeman, that actually police that chasing after the communists at that time. So you really think about that. How can he give food to his children? 14 children. 8 female, 6 male. And enough. You actually quite big in our family. Our brothers and sisters is not small in their size. So really, you think about that, because Allah Ta'ala will open up your provision for you to distribute to your children, to your wife. Even some people say that if more wife, more provision will given to you by Allah. Allah Ta'ala. But really, actually, because you actually the one that is responsible for that. You can see that Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala will always help those who actually managing others. If you look into the Surah Yusuf in the Quran, when the king, not the Prophet Joseph, but the king in the story, he had a dream. He dreamed about 7 big fat cows and 7 small cows, and the 7 green like the penny, plant, and 7 the already dry one. So actually, this you say king is not a Muslim. You can understand that when you recite the story of Joseph. He actually a Mu'min, but he cannot convey the message to other than his people, his brother, because all prophet before Muhammad SAW is not sent except unto their own people. So Joseph doesn't convey the message to him. But at the same time, you feel when the king dreamt about something to take care of the people. Because if he didn't dream about that, then the problem will happen to the people, because they will starve. The starvation will happen to them. But Allah Ta'ala saved the people with the king. The king dreamt about something will happen, 7 years of flourish and all the plant is there, and 7 years of drought. So the king dreamt about it even though he is not a Muslim. Allah Ta'ala saved his people by him. So the same you can understand when a father, a man, you're taking care of your family, Allah Ta'ala will open up your provision, because you are not eating alone, and your children will be eating from the thing that Allah Ta'ala open for you. That is the way that Allah Ta'ala encouraged from this point. And also, Al-Quran Al-Karim has opened up in when he say about giving a reminder to the people that marriage is actually one of the sign of Allah. Among sign of Allah, blessing of Allah upon us is actually in marriage. Allah said in Surah Rum, Allah said, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, and from among his sign, أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا, that he created from among yourself, your spouses, from among yourself, from human with human, not human with animal, not human with jinn, but from among your own self, your your own spouse. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, so that you become serenity, have the serenity towards them. You know, because you have the marriage is supposed to be for serenity, to calmness in your life. Because right now, when you are actually living as a bachelor, somebody is not married. So you can see that yourself, you doesn't care about your eating, your clothing. You know, even you don't take bath, nobody will ask you. But this day, I think because the rainy season right now, I can think that some of us, some of you, actually not taking care of your bathing daily bath, because coolness happen. So you don't care about your sleep. You know, these things will make you have problem in your life. So when you have a wife or somebody, a spouse, they will take care of you, asking you whether you already eat or sleep, what you are wearing. You know, somebody will take care of you. That is why Allah Ta'ala said in that ayah, لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. Then Allah Ta'ala said, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Then Allah Ta'ala created between you and your spouse and your wife, mawaddatan, love, and rahmah, mercy. Especially whenever we have a discussion about marriage or counseling, marriage counseling, things actually we remind that whenever a marriage is actually occurs, and we ask, will you marry her because you love her or not? Not by force, we say by love. So first thing first, when you want to find in marriage is for serenity, for calmness. And after the calmness happens there, then love should happen. If the love is not there anymore, maybe after a while, you can see that happening in people's, in many people's life. They're thinking about marriage at first, but after the marriage, suddenly they start to not thinking about marriage anymore. You love it? No, doesn't love it anymore. But last, it's really about the mercy, having mercy, because the woman and the man should have thinking about the mercy. But I think that in the Western society, they said that to feel pity to your spouse, have pity to your spouse, it's not supposed to happen. All marriage must be by love, not by pity. But the problem is, sometimes it can happen to that. That mercy, feeling mercy towards your other part is actually the thing that will make you stay together. Okay, Allah said, "Inna fi dzalika la ayatin liqaumin yatafakkarun," and in that Allah created for you, your spouses, that is actually sign of Allah for those who are thinking, for those people who are thinking. If you look into the Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you can see that Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he put for us encouragement from Allah. Okay, and by saying that, the Prophet said, "Ma bunya bina'an fil Islami ahabbu ila Allah min tazwij." There's no building being built in Islam is more lovable towards Allah than marriage. It's really more lovable to Allah. That's why we can listen that some people say that marriage is comparable to the construction of a mosque. You know, you're building a mosque. There's no building, especially in Islam, more lovable to Allah than the marriage between a man and a woman. And the Prophet ﷺ also have encouraged for that, about this topic, about marriage in young age, by saying, "Ya ma'syar shabab," oh youngsters, oh teenagers, who actually come to the age of shabab, all of your shabab, insyaAllah, youth. Man istata minkumul ba'ata, whoever is capable among you, al-ba'ata, to marry. In the ba'ah is two sides, from the side of expenses and the side of having the desire to marry. Means that if you don't have desire, means that you don't look to woman with anything, any feeling, then you should not marry. You look to woman, you don't have any feeling, don't marry. Because the problem will start there. But you have the desire and you have the expenses. The Prophet said, "Fal yatazawwaj." Why? The Prophet said, فَإِنَّهُ أَغَضُّ لِلْبَصَرِ, because Mary will be lowering your gaze. Making your gaze is very lowering your gaze from looking around. You know, the desire that you have is actually a natural thing. You know, sometimes when a person said that to me, that they have children, they like women. I said, Alhamdulillah, one part is settled. My boy like women, Alhamdulillah. Actually, that's the thing these days. Because of the pornography and the exposure of sexual entertainment in your phone and everything, sometimes make pervertness become more dangerous. Because things actually so open to you every day will not become something interesting for you. Like we say, what is the food? May I say, our brother from India, what is your favorite food? That actually you said that if you got the food, Alhamdulillah, this food I really like. Biryani. Okay. If you get to eat biryani every day, what will happen to you? Oh, you will be bored. You will start to change your vision from biryani to anything. Like you know, in Malaysia, people who have the orchid of durian. You know, Musang King. You all eat durian? No. Yes, some of you. Okay. It's so lovable to some people that the durian is actually so expensive. 60 ringgit per kilo, 90 ringgit per kilo. That the black thorn, they said, well, one of the type of durian. But if you have the orchid, you have the plants, you have all the things there, you get to eat it every day, what will happen? It's not special anymore for you. That's why during the youth life that you have right now, if you be exposed continuously to something like that, sexual, that is why you're listening these days about pedophile, animal, and even the relationship is so pervert between the incest. It's because the exposure of sexual is actually continuous. So the thing that about when you get married, you have a wife, that is actually lawful for you. So your gaze will not going around. Alhamdulillah, I did saw that during my stay in Yemen. I stayed in Yemen around 10 years, from 98 to 2007. So my friend in the university there, they actually younger than me, around my age. When I was there, actually I was around 23 years old. So my friend that actually entered the university around early age, 19, 20. You know that children, people that actually youth on that age, really looking to the woman, looking around. That's good there. So my friend, the Arabs, Yemeni Arabs, 19, 18 years old, 20, 21, they don't have that type of character. They don't say, the woman there, they don't have that character. But when I asked them, you actually, how old are you? They said 18. And I'm married. 19, I'm married. Actually, they stop to looking around. Because you have the halal one, the lawful one for you, so you don't think about other. And even the Prophet ﷺ did say that whoever saw from a woman something that actually spark an interest to him, go back to his wife quickly. Because his wife have whatever the other woman that he saw. That's to stop the desire. Because you know, sometimes shaitan will play around your feeling and will stop you from thinking about even your study. Study will be distracted. You'll think about the woman and messaging them. Even if you are already in halal relationship, you don't think about that. Want to meet them, you meet them. But this actually can we really understand that the encouragement that being given by the Prophet Sallam when he said, "Ya ma'ashar shabab," oh youth people, people who are in youth on their age, man istata minkum al-ba'a falyatazawwaj. Whoever capable among you, expenses and a desire to marry, then get married. فَإِنَّهُ أَغَضُّ لِلْبَصَرِ, because that is actually more lowering to look for their gaze. وَأَحْسَنُ الْفَرْجِ, and also more protective towards their private part. Means that their desire, their lust, will not be being channeled away to other than the halal one. And whoever cannot, فَمَا لَمْ يَجِدْ, and whoever cannot get married, فَعَلَيْهِ بِالصَّوْمِ, then they have to fast. فَإِنَّهُ لَهُ وِجَاء, because fasting for him will become a protector, or protection for him from getting to go away to that all the desire that he wants. Because fasting is actually really giving you the opportunity to think about self-restraint. You restrain yourself from food, you can restrain yourself from anything that is actually a pervert thinking or sexual thinking. So that is actually encouragement towards the youngsters. The Prophet did also encourage towards the parent of the children. The Prophet said, إِذَا جَاءَكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ, whenever came to you those who you impressed with their religion and their manners, فَزَوِّجُوا, marry them. Get them to marry from your family. Because that is actually the best thing about the quality for a husband or for wife. And whoever come to you and you impress with their religion and their manners, then make them to marry with your family. Ilam taf'al, if you don't do that, takut fasadan, will become disaster that is actually so widespread. Because people doesn't really think about religion as their first aspect of choosing their in-laws or their husband or their wife, husband for their children, their daughters, and wife for their son. Because that is actually the thing that Allah Ta'ala makes us to think about it. And because of that, when you see why Allah Ta'ala encourage us, you know that when we in the society, you want to have a nation, a country. A country essentially consists of units of family. You know, if you say the state from a village or settlement, and every settlement must have family. And family essentially consists of husband and wife and children. Whenever a country or a nation doesn't have this encouragement, like these days, you want to know that like in Japan, they're actually having the problem that the birth rate in their country is so low and become negative. Instead, when I look around, they are losing every year million people, million citizens. Because actually like this, you have to understand. If I get married and my wife got children, if my wife give birth for one child, then the child is actually a negative, because if I die, my wife died, the numbers of the citizens will be reduced into one. The child will only replacing me or my wife. If she get two children, then the children will be replacing me and her. If I die, the number of the people will still maintain. Means that if this village in Nottingham University, you have 50 people. So if one of the family get two children, so if they die, the number is still 50. You know, replacing the number. If they get 3 children, then if they die, the children essentially will plus. The number is 51. So that is actually when you see that, when I said about Japan, they are losing every year 1 million people. Because people actually not getting married, there. Don't even think about having children. Secondly, they have all the sexual things. Even they are selling sexual doll to people. So people start to marrying doll. Marrying doll, a doll, sexual doll. I think because they think, if not I'm mistaken, in Shopee is there?
It's there.
There in Shopee. There in Shopee is there. I don't want to say to you to buy it. I just want to say to you when people start to do something like that, so they will stop to get married. Because that is the thing. And above that, the LGBT, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, they start to increase inside the society. So who will get married? And when people do not get married, how can you have future generation for your country? You build everything for your country. But if you don't have children to replace you, to take care of whatever you build, then the thing will go away to other people. These days, even Japan start to open their country for labor, blue-collar labor. Before, they don't have any opening. Right now, they're opening for anybody to come there because the numbers of people there is decreasing. The same happened in Europe. Whenever you look into the story about Muslim buying the church to make it as a mosque, a masjid. That happened essentially because there's no supporters anymore for the church. The church cannot have any more anybody to pay for that. So they have to sell the church. So the Muslim, they want to build a new church, a new mosque. But the problem is they cannot get any permission just like that. So they buy the church and change it into mosque. It's actually permissible because it's considered as house of worship. So just change it. So what is happening there is because there's no new children actually getting birth at their places. That's why what you're looking these days in Sweden or in any part of Europe, that people actually start to look into the Muslim society because their numbers actually continue to increase that rapidly. Everybody is actually having children. But the local people there who have thought they actually don't want to have married, they don't want to get married, just to live a simple life, free life. Even some people say quality life. Quality life. I told a story about my parents had 14 children. One of the doctor that I met, he said, you cannot travel, you cannot buy new things, expensive things. Because some people look into their life to get traveling around. It's a quality life. To have expensive things, expensive cars and everything, is considered as quality life. But actually the quality life is not about that. You know that many people have their expenses like that. Like you can look into the artists. I can give one example, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. When they get married, they actually stay without marriage. Just like that. They get married 3 months after that, they divorce each other. So essentially, if the money is everything, I don't think they have to be separated from each other. The quality life is really not about for you to travel around. The quality life is actually about you having your family, to have somebody with you. So even actually to take care of you if you have any problem. So that is actually thing that now in Japan, in most countries, even if you look into Singapore, right now, they are paying whoever among their citizens that new child, they will pay 18,000 Singapore dollar. 18,000 Singapore dollar right now. If you get a child, you are a Singaporean, you pay. Everything expensive will paid by the government. The question is why? Why they are willing to pay. Because now, if in 20 years or 50 years in the future, the Chinese will not be the dominant anymore. The numbers is decreasing. I went there around 10 years ago in Singapore when I went into their MRT. From 20 people, only 2 youngsters in their place. My boss, my ex-boss, he went to Japan for treatment of cancer, proper treatment. He said that in the village that he stayed, no child, no baby at all. Can you imagine? No baby at all. So this actually I don't really encourage about getting baby, but actually that is the thing about the reason or the purpose of marriage is to make to make sure that we have a new generation that will take care of our country. That is the thing that many people doesn't really think about. They don't think about what like Islam forbid about free sex. Free sex. Why? Because when people can get sex without marriage, then who wants to get married? Nobody will get married. And when people doesn't get married, who will getting birth for children? Nobody will get birth of children. So what will happen to the country? They will start to lose their workforce. Nobody is replacing the elder generation. And right now we are actually listening that they say in Malaysia, they say that Malaysia is going to become an elders country. Essentially because the newborn is not there. Because if the newborn is there, then the number of the elders is actually will reduce, not become. But you don't marry, then nobody will make sure you are the future of your country. That is actually sometimes people doesn't really think about what is Islam really forbidding something or encouraging something. They have actually there is actually really great wisdom inside that. You see that Allah Ta'ala have given a positive gift for marriage. From among things that actually when Allah Ta'ala want you to get married, Allah Ta'ala encouraged by saying, the Prophet ﷺ said in one of his hadith, Man nakaha lillahi ankaha lillahi istahaqqa wilayatillah. Istahaqqa wilayatillah. Whoever married or married because of Allah. He getting married or married his child because of Allah, then he actually get the opportunity to be in the protection of Allah. Wilayatullah as protection of Allah. Okay, that's one thing of the thing that Allah Ta'ala said. The Prophet ﷺ said. Also, when you get married, essentially you are following the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, some of the companions thought that when they went to worship Allah, getting married is something that hurdle them, stop them to be a good worshipper of Allah. So even some of them did ask the Prophet, they want to castrate their son. Not circumcise, castrate. Cut off all the private part. So that they can worship Allah all the way. But the Prophet forbade them, doesn't give them that permission. And 3 of the companions did meet with one of the wife of the Prophet and asked her, how did the Prophet ﷺ pray at night, or how did the Prophet ﷺ fast, and what is the act of worship that the Prophet did. So when the wife of the Prophet answered to them, they said, oh, so little. The Prophet ﷺ praying so little. I'm capable to do more than that. So they thought that actually the thing that happened, that the Prophet ﷺ having all that act of worship, that is not really that big. So they said, one of them gave an idea. I know why the Prophet ﷺ, his act of worship is so little. I think it is because he is being forgiven by Allah, whatever the sin, past sin and the future sin that he do. Everything being forgiven. That's why the act of worship of the Prophet is so little. So one of them said, because of that, I think I will to get out and pray at night and I will not go to sleep. The second one said, I will fast every day and I will not break my fast. Every day I fasting. And the third one said, I will not marry any woman. Because of the hassle of the, when you get married, something will happen. You're thinking about the expenses. Your wife will say something to you. You get mad. You say you have something inside your head. Your wife will ask. You don't want to come back at home. You are actually going out with your friend. So some people say that it's something that is really making you feel uneasy. To have a wife that always calling you, asking you. So that guy said, I don't want to get married. That is what you nisa. So the Prophet heard what they said, and the Prophet called them. Wait, what are you all talking about? So they said that the Prophet, all Prophet of Allah, we want goodness. The one that want to pray all night long, doesn't want to have any sleep. He said goodness. The second one want to fast. Also, he think about goodness. And the third one don't want to marry any woman. He thought that essentially goodness. So the Prophet said to them, Aba Allah, verily by Allah, Inni al-akhshakum atrakum Allah. I am the most pious, the most feared among you towards Allah. Nobody fear Allah more than me. Nobody pious, have a piety towards Allah than me. But I get up in the night to pray when I sleep. I go to sleep. I fast and I break my fast. That means that there are days that I fast and there are days I didn't fast. And atazawwaju nisa, and I also get married to women. Faman raghiba an sunnati, whoever doesn't like my sunnah, my way, falaysa minni, he is not from among my followers. So the Prophet did mention about that. It's really to encourage us to live heavily living. Some people say that, like you say about liability. So sometimes when you say about liability, when you say you get married, you have to pay more expenses. In the real life of a human being, a man feel proud whenever he have more or he have expenses or people to take care on. When you have people to take care, you become the base of your family. For a man, it's a manly thing to do. It's not about liability. You will think that I'm a man. This is my work. You feel proud. A manly thing for you to do. To have somebody for you to take care. Somebody rely upon you. You feel proud. That is the feeling that Allah Ta'ala has put inside every man. To think about that whenever they pay expenses, they give food to their children, to their wife. They are actually feeling proud. Because they are doing things that is so manly. Because that is the feeling Allah Ta'ala put. Like a woman, Allah Ta'ala put in their thing, their mind, whenever they cook something and the family eat it, they feel happy. It's not a restaurant. You don't get paid. Your mother, when they cook something for you, you eat a lot and you eat so deliciously. You smile eating. They feel happy. I want to ask you, did your mother get something from you? 10 ringgit, 20 ringgit, 100 ringgit? No. But the happiness is there. That is the way that Allah put in our heart. So the fulfillment of your life is actually when a person has that kind of feeling, that is actually happiness. Happiness is not about money. It's not about wealth. Even if Allah give you wealth, but doesn't give you health, you always sick. You cannot walk. You really think that your money doesn't have any value. Your wealth doesn't have any value. Because Allah making you doesn't have that. Because that is why when you say about happiness, it's not about wealth. Like I said, a man give expenses and happy. A A woman, a mother, cook for the family. The family eat, still get paid, but she's very happy. That is the fulfillment of Allah inside our heart. Thirdly, it's also for you to get by getting married. You actually to get the abundant, to get abundant gift from Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. There's high gift from Allah. There's been said by the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Said, "Al-mutazawwijun na'imu afdalu 'inda Allahi min as-sa'imil qa'imil azbi." A man who is married but sleeping. A man who is married but sleeping is better in the sight of Allah than a man who is actually a bachelor who is fasting and also wake up at the night. Waking up at the night, fasting in the day, waking up at the night, but he is actually a bachelor, unmarried person. In the sight of Allah, the Prophet said, the person that is sleeping, he has a wife, he sleep, he is actually more preferable by Allah in that side. So the person said, why? Because a person that actually the husband who daily way of life getting tired in his work, that's why he sleeps. So because of the tiredness, he went out to give provision for his family. He get tired, so he slept. And he actually working not for himself only, but for his children and his wife. And his children maybe in the future will be somebody. You know, the son or the daughter will be somebody in the future. He is providing that. So it's better for the society than a person that is actually fasting or waking up in the night to pray. But the benefit only returns to the person. You know, a married person is just for you. Your act of worship is just for you. But a married person, everything he do outside of his wife, his house, is actually for the benefit of his children, his family, even the society. Even he can become a good neighbor to his neighbor because he is working, and also getting provision for everybody under his care. The fourth one is actually Allah give one of the gift of Allah to those who have to get married is actually taharatul ma'nawiyah. The pureness of inner pureness of their heart. It's actually because of the first thing that we said about what marriage have effect on the bachelor. Like I said, my friend in Yemen, boys, if we take them to Malaysia in their age, we're still looking towards the woman, but they don't look at all. I don't know why until I ask them, already married. So they don't have time to think about woman or to play, just to check because they have a wife, a legal wife. So really, actually, they don't have the time. So the inner self of their heart is actually being fulfilled. When you're thinking about your wife in Islam is actually a good deed. Because thinking about other than your wife is haram. A woman that is not permissible for you, haram. You cannot think about her. You're thinking about her. How is she? Is she eating? No, at all. The Prophet ﷺ did talk about this by saying when the poor people in his time, the poor people, they actually complain to the Prophet about the rich people. They have money. They pray. They went to the Prophet. They said, "Oh, Prophet of Allah, dhahaba al-udusur bi-ujur." All the rich people has went away with all the rewards. The Prophet said, "How?" They pray like we pray. The rich people pray like we pray. They fast like we fast. But they have money to give away and to go to jihad. We don't have. So what can we do? So the Prophet taught them to always, after each prayer, you have to say Subhanallah 33 times, 33, Alhamdulillah 33, Allah Akbar 33, and actually they can get the reward that they miss because they don't have money. Allah will give them reward. But suddenly the rich people did the same. So the poor people said, "Oh, Prophet of Allah, they did the same like us." Then the Prophet said, "That is the abundant bounty that Allah give whoever he want." So one of the thing that the Prophet taught them when want to say to them, charity is not really, or giving sadaqah is not really about wealth. You don't have wealth, you can get the reward of sadaqah. So the Prophet mentioned to them that they wake up in the morning on 360 of their joint. They have sadaqah. Every word they utter, subhan, tasbih, or takbir, or tahmid is sadaqah. And the Prophet keep counting until the end. The Prophet said, "Wa fi budi ahadikum sadaqah." And on your private part, there is also sadaqah. Your private part, your sexual part, there is sadaqah also. So one of the companions said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, ayati ahna syahwatahu." Does the person among us come to his last? You know, he is really go to his wife for the last that he had, and he get reward. The Prophet said, "Can't you see if he put that last in the wrong place, he will get sin." The companion said, "Yes." That is the same when he put it in the right place. Then Allah will give reward. So the reward about living as a husband, I have the desire between you and your wife. It's something that we given by reward by Allah. It's not passed just like that. We're thinking about just sexual lust, but in the sense of Allah, it's become an obligation and also become a goodness between you and your wife. Okay. That's why whenever we met people that actually having conflict in their marriage life, we said that every gesture, every touch from between the husband and wife is actually something that reward in the sight of Allah. Then the feeling for you to angry to each other is actually from shaitan. Because you're touching your wife, you hold her hand, it's a reward from Allah. Allah take it as reward. The shaitan doesn't like that. And the other thing is something that you have to understand. Whenever you get married, the work after marriage is actually to impress your spouse is actually bigger. Because during the time that it's actually you are not halal, shaitan will give you everything. You know, you look at the girl, you see that that's fireworks. The woman will see you, oh, so handsome. But that is the time of haram. When the time of halal, because every gesture between you is reward from Allah, the shaitan will run away, and then you start to have conflicts. Start to see that, this is my husband. The woman say, yeah, this is my husband. And the man say, this is my wife. Problem. So that is really will happen after that. So if you understand about the marriage, that's why don't ever, if you really like the woman, don't prolong just to know each other. Because if you know everything, like my uncle said, you will get bored. People before us, like from our time, my parents, they don't have the time to get to know each other before marriage. When my father got married, he was 22 years old. And my mother was 17. Between them is 5 years. So like I said, because she get married in the early age, she can get birth to 14 children. But can you imagine a woman that actually, push back the age for marriage after 40? How long how many years can she provide to get birth, to get pregnant? Because the doctor will say no. Because her heartbeat, her cholesterol, everything about her body will not really comply to the pregnancy. So when you know your spouse after marriage is really better, than before marriage. Knowing something after another. Not to know everything before marriage. Because after marriage, you know everything before marriage, then no surprise anymore. No surprise. For her or for you. It's the same. So that's why when Allah said to us, about marrying the people that we know, to getting them to get married. It's actually for them to know each other after the marriage, not before the marriage. Because any gesture you have before marriage is haram. Anything after marriage is halal. Anything after marriage is halal. Okay? And also, that is one part when Allah Ta'ala in Islam encourage for marriage. But the other side, also, targhib. They are also the way of targhib, that in Islam is being warned for you not getting married. You must get married. Few of the verses, a few of the hadith from the Prophet ﷺ. Among it is actually when the Prophet ﷺ asked a man that doesn't want to get married. And actually, the Prophet asked him, Alaka zawja, do you have wife? Qala la ya Rasulullah. He said, no, I don't have. Qala alaka jariya. You have any female servant that you make as a wife? Qala la ya Rasulullah. He said, no, ya Rasulullah. Then Prophet said, Afa anta musir? Are you a wealthy person? Do you have any wealth? He said, yes. Qala, the Prophet said, tazawwaj, marry, get married. Wa illa fa anta mudbibin. If not, then you actually have going towards the sin. You are going towards the sin. You are not a sinner yet, but you are going towards the sin. Because you are not thinking the way of the Prophet ﷺ. All the Prophets of Allah, all the messengers of Allah except Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, peace be upon him, all the Prophets Prophet alayhi wasallam, they have spouses and they have children. They get married. Allah said in the Quran in Surah Ar-Ra'd, verse number 38. Allah said, وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلًا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. We have sent, O Muhammad, before you, many messengers. وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُمْ أَزْوَاجًا وَذُرِّيَّةً. And we made for those messengers, azwaj, is that spouses, wives, وَذُرِّيَّةً. And also they have children, offspring. So all the prophets actually living like that. If you look into people that actually promoting to not celibacy, not to get married, those people actually have a wrong understanding. Like you look into the Buddhism. If all of us become a monk, not getting married, or priest who doesn't get married, then how our country will develop? Nobody can get anybody to replace them. Nobody will take care of our country after we die. That is the thing that many people doesn't think about that. So even the Prophet ﷺ he said, "Man taraka tazwij makhafatal ailata falaysa minna." Whoever left out to get married, to getting married, because of fear to become poor, then he is not from among us. He is not from among us. Because we, like I said just now, in Islam, to take care of your children or anybody under your care is actually a proud thing to do. And you will work more to make sure that they will have all their permission. So you're not doing that, you are not a productive person. One thing that been said to me by Sheikh Hussein, he told me that when the China government, when they stop the monk, the Shaolin monk, they have all the power to knock their head to the stone and everything, but they don't want to get married, and they ask you think only. And you know that in Buddhism, whoever become a monk, they cannot work. They must only eat from whatever been given to them. Even though they have all the muscle, don't go to work. The philosophy is, if you go to work, then you think that this is yours, and you start to become selfish. You will not become kind to other people because this is mine. I pour out my sweat for this. So if you don't work, so it become humble all the way. But imagine what will happen to the country if all the people become a monk. So nobody will progress, nobody will build, nobody will cook, or everything will stop at all. So because of that, think back about the marriage, and we actually in Islam we encourage for that because it is actually something that good for yourself and good for your religion and good for your country. That is actually alhamdulillah what we have to share tonight. Wallahu a'lam. So we can open the quiz. Is it? Okay. Allah.
Jazakallah khairan, Ustadh Adli, for the wonderful talk. Barakallahu feekum. And inshallah, we're going to proceed to the quiz. And as always, or as last time, only the first person will get the reward. So we're going to set up the quiz in a bit, inshallah. You can now enter the quiz, inshallah. And please use your real names. No funny names, please. If you do use funny names and you win, you won't get your reward. We'll give around 3 minutes for everyone to enter, inshallah. Only 26, last time we had over 40 people, or 20 people. $29. We'll give it one more minute, inshallah, for everyone to enter the quiz. All right, we'll start the quiz right now. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First question for the getting married talk. What did the king in Surah Yusuf see in his dream? 8 big goats and 8 small goats? Or is this a variation of it? Three more seconds. 7 big cows and small cows. Who's leading the quiz right now? MashaAllah. Adli. Next question. What is the main purpose of marriage? Love, wealth, children and responsibility, or serenity and calmness? Correct answer is serenity and calmness. And Amin is still at first place along with Arif in second. What's the third question? Marriage reduces wealth. True or false? Who's answered true, man? Who answered true? Who's that? Let's look at the leaderboard, inshallah. Oh, Arif. Leading the scoreboard, mashallah. Next question, inshallah. Should you get married if you have money and desire? This is easy, guys. Please. Yes. Of course, yes. All of them are correct. Arif still at the top. Oh, we got here, mashallah. Next question. Marriage helps protect chasteness, honor, dignity, or life. 3 more seconds. Marriage helps protect chasteness. I know the answer, but I don't have to explain it. Let's look at the leaderboard. Arif still holding up. Question number 6. If we can't marry, the Prophet instructed us to pray, recite the Quran, fast, or make money. And the answer is fast, as said in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. And there's no change at all in the top 5. Arif still holding up. MashaAllah. A bachelor fasting during the day and worshipping at night is better than a man who is married and sleeping. True or false? This is easy, man, if you actually focus on the top. 7 more seconds. 2 more people. And the answer is false. 23 people got it correct, mashallah. Then we're thinking of Arif. No, with top 5, this change a bit. Question number 8. How many wives did the Prophet ﷺ have during his whole lifetime? 9, 11, 10, or 4? And the answer is 11. He had 11 wives during his whole lifetime. Oh, Arif came down and we had on the top. MashaAllah. Let's move on to the question number 9. Getting married is from the sunnah of the Prophet. True or false? It's too easy, guys. Please don't get it wrong. Alhamdulillah. Everyone got it right. Alhamdulillah. So marriage is from the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the top 3 changes a bit. And Arif is at number 5. Question number 10. In the hadith of the Prophet, where he tells the youth to get married, he said that marriage helps with lowering the gaze, fasting, increasing iman, or being rich. 3 more seconds. Lowering the gaze. Marriage helps with lowering the gaze. I don't know who said being rich. And we have it still at the top, mashallah. Last question of lecture. How many siblings does Ustadh have? 11, 13, 4, or 5? 3 more seconds. MashaAllah. 25 people actually paid attention. MashaAllah. And that is the end of the quiz. So let's have a look at the final leaderboard. At number 3, we have Sophia. At number 2, we have Ami. And at number 1, Nihal. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. And number 4 and 5, we have Arif and Sarah. So inshallah, later on after the lecture, we will pass the gift. And the gift is a 30 ringgit grab voucher. Jazakumullah khairan, everybody.
Yeah.
And inshallah, we will move on to the Q&A session. Inshallah.
Yeah.
So for the Q&A session, we have this QR code that directs you to the pigeonhole where you can ask your questions anonymously. However, questions that are physically asked will be prioritized, inshallah. So whoever would like to have their question asked or would like to ask a question physically, you raise your hand, inshallah. I believe the sisters have a microphone. For the brothers, we don't have a microphone, so just raise your hand up, inshallah. So any questions from the physical audience? Any questions from the sisters? All right, we'll take a question from the pigeonhole, inshallah. So, Saad, the first question, inshallah. Is it okay if I can get married, but I don't want to get married? The person is able to get married, but he doesn't want to get married.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. Like been said by the Prophet ﷺ, about the nearer for you to become a sinner is actually for you not to get married. We have the tradition of, like I said before, about the saying of the companion that one don't want to get married because he want to get closer to Allah. But the Prophet said, I more pious toward Allah and more fear toward Allah, but I pray and I sleep, and I fast and I break my fast, and I marry a woman. Whoever doesn't like my sunnah, and is not from among me. Because we have the time when people look into the Sufi ideology, that they thought that if they suppress their lust or their desire towards women, then they become more better than anybody else. That is wrong because Allah Ta'ala picked that for the Prophet, all the Prophet and the messengers have wives. Like I recite in the Surah Al-Ra'd, verse number 38. Even said that, وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلًا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ, O Muhammad, we have already sent before you many messengers. وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُمْ أَزْوَاجًا وَذُرِّيَّةً. We made for them wives and also descendant, offspring. So this is actually the sunnah of Allah Ta'ala upon us. So for you to say that you don't want, there's no goodness in that. And even you know that a person who get married, he completed half of his religion. His deen being completed by the marriage. Have good manners, alhamdulillah. Good act of worship, alhamdulillah. But the other half of yourself is not completed until you get married. Okay? Alhamdulillah.
Any question from the physical audience, inshallah? Will be shy. Yes, yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Assalamu.
So you mentioned the hadith about the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam where we should marry a person with like correct deen and good akhlaq, right? So what kind of like could you elaborate more about the kind of akhlaq like we should look for in a spouse?
Other than that,
Yeah.
other than the two things.
No, but the akhlaq, like, could you
Akhlaq,
yeah, talk more about
The akhlaq, the manners that you want to look into a person, you should look into the manners firstly with his family. You know, how the person is with his family, his parents, how is the person an obedient son or daughter to their parent. As that is the first circle. And after that, because the Prophet ﷺ did say to us that akmalul mu'minina imanan ahsanum khuluqa. The most perfect believers from the side of the belief is the best among them from their akhlaq. And the Prophet did say, khairukum li ahli. The best among you is the best towards their own family. Wa ana khairukum li ahli, and I am the best person to my own family. So that is the first base before you look into the other thing, that the relationship of the person, his akhlaq or his manners from outside. Because outside, like I'm talking to you right now, you know, I'm taking care about the way I talk. Surely when you get out of your house, you actually have a superficial, you know, character. You are not talking harshly. You're taking care of your words. You're afraid people don't like you. But inside your family, they know you. So you can know about the person, about akhlaq, starting from the side of his family or her family. And the way you want to know, send somebody. You ask from their friend. You know, like Prophet Sallam, his companion also. Actually, they cannot know the person. They ask the neighbors. How this person, you know, when you have neighbors, the shout from your house will go to your neighbors. If you're shouting every day, so the neighbors say, I know they have a daughter there. Her daughter always shout at her mother. You know, things like that will happen. So you know from the start, the first is actually about the family. Because our topic about the marriage also is concerned about the family, building of a family. Then akhlaq or the manners also will start from the family, because some people can do many great things, talk like a great person outside of the house. I remember Mufti Man, Hafizahullah, he said, if you want to know me, ask my wife. You want to know me, ask my wife. Because outside here, he said, I can be somebody. You know, I can be somebody. I can superficially give you a character that you like. But if you ask my wife, she will know what is my real character. Okay? How about
Pleasure. Barakallah feek. What is the most halal way to get to know someone before marriage?
Okay, the way to know somebody, actually, first thing first, by looking at the family. I don't know about others, but my father always, you know, my sisters getting married and my brother getting married. My father always asks, who is the parent of this person? You know, how is their family? Because it is not you want to look down onto somebody is actually from a broken family. No, you don't look down onto them. But if you get to know the family first, it's better. The father, because the character of the father, if the father is a teacher, a policeman, the father is actually the normal guy, that you can know the children, how they've been brought up. How the children been brought up is through the parent. So you start from there. And secondly, from the friend. You know from the friend. You tell my father, because he's policeman, when any guy want to get the hand of my sisters in marriage, my father will send policemen to the village to check the family of the guy. Who is he? What is his parents? What happened to them? That is the way. Before you don't know the person, the person you don't know. You want to marry him with your daughter. So how could you accept him? You don't know him. So my father will send a policeman, because he's a policeman. So he will send a few police to the village. That's to us at the shop, at the coffee shop or the beer shop there, people there asking that person what about the family. So when the people say something about that, they will give the information to my father. So the way is actually the neighbor. That's why the neighbor, your family, your neighbor is actually the first place for you to know somebody, the friend. So in other terms, like to know really about the woman, you can send your mother to look at her. Say, mom, you go and see. So the mother can see that how the hair and everything. The mother can say, take out your hijab. I want to see your hair. I want to distract you to my son. Something like this can happen because the Prophet did send a few like Sulaim to look at a woman for somebody. Look at her. Look into her eye or look about her and try to smell her body, something there. So means that other than things that you can see is actually like that. In things that you can see by yourself is the face and the hand only. For a guy to start to marry a woman, you just look at face and the hand. Not more than that. Not more than that. You want more? Send your sister, send your mother to the house. Okay? Allah.
Okay. Any questions from the physical audience, inshallah? We'll take another question from the digital. So the question is that it says, if someone marries a girl and then divorces her the next day, is he still eligible for a reward equivalent to building a mosque?
Actually, about marriage. Marriage is actually an agreement that is cannot be void just like that. So, if that person divorced the woman and to get the divorce, okay, the divorce must be with right excuse. Why? Why did you divorce the woman? Like in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, one of the women that being married by the Prophet, her name was Ibnatul Jawn, the daughter of Jawn, maybe John, Allah A'lam. The name is actually, you look into the hadith, Ibnatul Jawn. So when the Prophet ﷺ made akad upon her with the family came. So when she was being prepared by the wives of the Prophet, all the one Prophet prepared her for the Prophet. So they advised her with an advice. Essentially, it's not good advice. They said to her, when the Prophet come into the room and want to touch you, say, A'udhu billahi mink. Say to the Prophet, I seek refuge with Allah from you. Then the Prophet will really love you. This is the trick from the wives of the Prophet. It's happened. Essentially, the Prophet doesn't get mad at his wife by doing that. But the girl did that. When the Prophet came to the room and come to her, she said, A'udhu billahi mink. I seek refuge with Allah from you. Then the Prophet said to her, Ilhaqi bi ahlik. Go back with your family. Laqad irti bi azim. You already seek refuge with the great Allah from me. So go back to your family. So at that point, the Prophet did, after the akad, divorce her right away. So the reward, inshallah, is by our intention. If our intention is right, and the excuse for you to divorce her is right, then alhamdulillah, it should be nothing to be worried about. Like you want to get out to pray in the middle of the night, you do all the preparation. You on your alarm. You prepare your clothes and everything. Suddenly, you woke up, it's already Fajr. You get the reward. Even though you didn't get up at all. That is what the Prophet said. Because the niyatul mar'i khairun min amali. Means the intention of a person sometimes is better than his work that he did, that he do. So the Prophet actually did divorce a woman after akad. So you don't say that the reward is not there. Inshallah, the reward is there. That's like I said, with really good intention and excuse that is acceptable excuse. Why do you divorce her?
No, sir. Any questions from the brothers or sisters?
Ada.
Sisters first.
I want to ask, if two people like each other, what advice would you give to handle the situation in a halal way?
Two people like each other and how to
To
move it to the halal way
yeah, like what if you're afraid?
without marriage.
Uh,
Without marriage.
not yet, like maybe in 3 years.
That, okay. This is a thing that actually so interesting. When I was in taking my SPM, when I was 19, taking my SPM, it's actually to 1996, 96. Sample now. I took my SPM. So one of my teacher is actually not a non-Muslim, a Hindu guy. He said something that is actually, if you really think about it, it's really true. You know, when you have a relationship between you and a man always doesn't have any effect. You don't know, you know that actually he broke up with any girl, have many girlfriends, it's okay. But for a woman to have that stand that you are a girlfriend of this guy, something that actually within your name. So that teacher said to me, he said, but the woman, the girls inside the class is actually said, why? He said, if a man really love a woman, he will not destroy her name. Taking care of her name means that doesn't touch her, doesn't make anything to make people looking at her as actually a broken thing. So that teacher, when he said something like that, some of the girls inside the class, hey, but you know, we love each other, but you don't have the guarantee that that person will become your husband. And also the man doesn't have guarantee that the girl will become his wife. You don't have the guarantee. But the damage will be done. You know, if you do that, you know, don't walk around with the girl in the village, in the housing estate. So all the neighbors will look at the girl. The boy doesn't have any effect. Seriously, all the bad thing will be put on the girl. So people will start to say, "Hey, I want like my father did, send the policeman to the village." So he asked about the girl. What will the answer will come? That girl already been dated by many guys. So if that is the information my father get, do you think that he allow me to proceed or marriage with that girl? Because it's actually her name. That's why when you say you like the person, but it's not halal, then let it go. Inshallah, Allah Ta'ala will give you better. Be patient. You know, you actually come into the month of Ramadan, month of self-restraint. You restrain yourself to give away your attention to the guy more than he's supposed to. Because like I said, the damage will not be on you, on the woman. We always will not be on the guy. We always be on the woman. People will say that ex of somebody. That is the ex of somebody. And the guy doesn't have any problem. The more access you have, the more actually high in rank. The woman is actually different. Because of that, to make sure that your name is actually secure, not to be said bad things for you, or even your father and your mother. It's actually nothing. There's nothing there except marriage. Nothing there except marriage. You like the person, tell them to go and seek your hand from parent. If not, then stop it, because it will hinder your studies, and also will make you have problem about your name. Your name is not really good anymore. Clear? Or not clear? Alhamdulillah.
No, Ustadh. Ahmad Razumi had a question.
Allah.
So we have like a problem now in our son. So depending on the question that Sister asked, so they plan to get married in 3 years. I'm assuming it's because they cannot get married now because maybe money, probably not money, most likely parents. So this year get the problem. So I noticed that I hear sometimes that some of my friends or some of the relatives, they get married like it's like a quick way. The boy, the girl, the families share, and then they were done married. So from what I heard that is that you have to have like a big wedding where there's like food and some noise so that the neighborhood knows that you're getting married. So like for us, what's like your take on the current situation and how some people are acting by like using like this paper marriage?
Okay. Actually, brother talking about if they have to get married. So say means the girl want to marry the boy, and the family want to marry them without any big ceremony. It's actually in Islam is not an obligatory thing for you to make a big ceremony. The Prophet ﷺ did say to one of his companions, "Awlim wala bisha," make a ceremony even though it's only with a single goat, single lamb. Is that a single lamb? That's enough to be known. Do you know that during the COVID-19, 2 years before, 2 years, almost 1 year or 1.5 years. You know that many of our friends, our relatives, getting married through the internet only. You know, the people from the authority, they have the video there, and the groom will be on the other side, and the bride also will be there, but also on screen. So the person from the government will say that I'll marry you to this girl, and this same without any big ceremony. Because in Islam, when you want to marry to somebody, actually is the rukun of nikah is the akad, the husband and wife, and the wali and the saksi, and the witness. So nothing more than that. So in places like Western countries, when we was in Yemen, there are questions being asked to our sheikh, our teacher, our guru in Yemen, about people in Western country. If you don't make them marry to each other, they will still see each other. So the parents there make it easy for them to get married. Instead, the parent married them, and they still living inside their own house, and meeting wherever they meet is really by halal. Alhamdulillah. So, but this type of understanding is still cannot be accepted in many countries because most of our Muslim parents thinking about when you get married, you have to go to your own house, you have to go to find a work and everything. Even though when the children essentially meeting each other and haram, and they doesn't care about that, it's okay, but don't get married. There's something about getting married, then suddenly people start to look to you differently. You are not married, you can go to the cinema together, eat together. But you get married, then people will start to get away from you. That is the stigma of the society. If ever things that can be corrected, it's not wrong for them to just get married. The parents married us, actually they can meet each other, stay until they establish their own life and stay together. One of my friends, when I was 18, he was 19. He finished his school and he got married to his love of his life, school sweetheart, when he was 19 years old. And the wife also 19 years old. After because the father the father of this boy said to me, he doesn't want to listen to many talks, bad talks about people that his son is moving around, going back and forth with the girl. So he married his son to the girl. And Alhamdulillah, they have around six boys. And the eldest one is actually already finished university. Already finished university right now, 2 years ago. So essentially nothing. It's just about the stigma of the family. Anyway, it's not forbidden in Islam. The parents still help the children during their marriage and their status as a student, inshallah. Okay?
How many questions can we take? One of them?
You know. You want to ask more?
Yes.
Yeah, more questions? Apa?
Wouldn't describing the features of the woman be haram? Because we can't ever describe our own features to non-Mahrams. And what if we don't end up getting married to that?
Slowly. Actually, I always ride motorcycle. So my hearing is actually not really that good. Come in.
Sorry, sir. Wouldn't describing the features of the woman be haram? Because we can't ever describe our own features
Okay.
to non-Mahrams.
Okay. Actually, when you want to marry a woman, actually you finish your question?
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And what if we don't end up getting married to that
Okay.
man?
And the same happened. Actually, the thing that about when I said about describing, send your mother to look at the woman and describe to you how is she. If you cannot see more than that. And our sister said, if they don't end up to be married each other, how will it happen? The thing is happening in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, when the Prophet told Sulaim to go to see the woman and describe her to the idea, because more that they actually to look into things that actually will make the guy really want to marry the woman. Because Rasulullah did Jabir bin Abdullah in one of the hadith, he actually what do you say, Pina in English, ask a woman, hand a woman for marriage. Okay, but this guy, this companion didn't see the woman, didn't look at the woman. So the Prophet said to him, go and see her until you have the feeling to marry her. So you know what happened? The companion, but this is not permissible. That is actually his opinion to do. He take a place to spy on the woman. Spy on the woman that he already asked her hand for marriage. But he didn't saw her. So when the Prophet said to him, look at her until you feel the intention to marry her. So he made a place for him at the back of the house of the woman to spy on the woman. So without woman seeing him. That is actually happened. Because the intention want to marry is actually making that thing is actually permissible. The intention, not just to look, really want to marry her. Yes. The description is actually being said, like I said, in the hadith of Sulaim. The Prophet ﷺ told her to describe the woman to the man. But the man doesn't see her. The man didn't see her. But the one that is sent will tell the man what she saw. What she saw. Okay.
But wouldn't that take away from the woman's haya?
Wait, what?
Wouldn't that take away from the woman's haya? Like,
Or describe the woman?
isn't that the woman's haya? Isn't that kind of a bit crossing her boundary and a bit?
Okay. If you look into Kalthum, the wife of the last wife of Umar bin Khattab, she was the daughter of Fatimah and Ali. Kulthum, the last wife of Umar. And when Umar died, she is the wife that Umar married. She was the daughter of Ali and Fatimah. You know how did Umar want to see her? Umar told Ali, send your daughter here. So Kulthum came to Umar and she stood up and Umar looked at her like this. Umar looked at her, she's standing and Umar looked at her up and down, up and down. And Kulthum, at that time, she didn't know why did Umar call her, why did her father, Ali, send her to Umar. She doesn't know that Umar want to marry her. So Umar is actually looking up and down, and send her back. So she said to her father that if not Umar, if anybody did that to her, she will poke the eye. But the problem is, Umar is the one that looking at her. So the thing is, when the intention really want to marry, the companion is our indicator. Is it permissible or not? Look at that. So when Umar bin Khattab did look at Kulthum, up and down, and the Prophet ﷺ did that before, when a woman came to the Prophet ﷺ, and the hadith about iltamis walau khataman hadith, fine, even though a ring from metal. That hadith, if you read from the beginning, the woman that came to the Prophet, she said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, I give myself to you. Whether you want to marry me or you marry me to anybody you think suitable for me." So the Prophet at first looked at her up and down. Then after that, the Prophet turned away. When the Prophet turned away, one of the companions know that the Prophet doesn't want to marry that woman. Then the person said, "Oh Prophet Allah, marry her to me. You don't want her, marry her to me." So the person said, "What? Even in the end, the Prophet ﷺ married them, the guy and the woman, with whatever the Quran that the man memorized. So that story, you can see that looking at the woman when you want to marry her up and down is not something or disgrace. Like I said, if disgrace by the Prophet, by Umar, then disgrace for us.
Hello? So does that mean that we can do the same to men?
To men, yes. Surely you can. You don't actually the man. The man and the woman have the same right. They have the same right. Except that woman will normally have shyness to do that. You feel shy to do that, even though that is your right. That is your right to do that. You don't want you say the man ask my I want to look at the man. So look at the man, up and down, I don't want. It's actually not haram for her to do that. Okay? Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
Little louder.
Okay. How do you know if we genuinely like someone's character or that you are intentionally beautifying their character because of your desires?
How?
How do you know if we genuinely like a person's character or that you're intentionally beautifying it because of your desires?
How do you know that a person is?
That you like their character or not, or that you want to beautify it because of your desires?
Okay, actually, first thing first, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Tumkahul mar'atu li arba'in." A woman is being married because of 4 things. Li jamaliha, because of her beauty. Wa li hasabiha, because of her status, her family status. Wali maliha, because of her wealth. Wali diniha, because of her religion. That is a normal thing. A person want to marry a woman because of the beauty, because of the desire, the thing that she saw on the woman. Essentially a normal thing because of beauty or anything. Then the Prophet said, "Fasfar bidat ad-din tadibat yadah." Then get the one that has religion, then you will have the profit, you get the benefit. So the intention, essentially when you do it in your family, the guy came to the family, not see you inside the door or the auditorium or the class. Go to the family. Because like Ali bin Abi Talib, he sent his wife, his daughter, Kalthum, when Umar expressed to him that he want to marry her. So whenever the thing being done between the family, that is considered as true desire to marry. Because at that time, because when you come to the family of the woman, you know that they will be mad or be angry if you are playing around. So the desire must be there. So whenever you like somebody, don't make something actually a secret, and mean that the family must come. My sister, my fifth sister, she has 7 boys. All the boys already get married and have children. Whenever her boys like somebody, they will go to the house of the girl. They will not say that, oh, it's really okay, no. They go to the house. So that the family will know them when they came to the house. So it's really about the family, because marriage is not because of you, the tie relationship between you, but between the two family. That is the way you want to know sincerity of the intention, inshallah. Okay.
Any questions from the audience? Yes, Jose.
Let's say a brother wants to get married to a sister, obviously, but he is not financially independent yet, but he's trying. Should his parents support him financially for the marriage, to facilitate the marriage, or he should wait until he gets financially independent to get married?
Actually, it should a person, he want to marry, but he said that financially he's weak. So should his family support him or everything? Okay, to be frank, when I married my wife, I don't have any work. I just came back from Yemen. No work at all. Okay, but the in-laws, my in-laws, let me to accept me. It's really about the acceptance of the in-laws. If your in-laws, the in-laws that you met, they willingly okay with you, then inshallah things will be better. If the in-laws doesn't like you, even you have any money you have, then the problem will happen. So it's really about the in-laws. If the in-laws say okay, then it's okay, inshallah. Because the building of your life is not from before the marriage, it's after the marriage. So they wait for me to build up my life after that. Alhamdulillah. So if not, when I got married with my wife, I don't have any work. Just get back from Yemen in 2007. So Alhamdulillah, Allah provide me. Alhamdulillah. Okay? So I think, inshallah.
Barakallahu feekum, jazakumullah khairan everyone for attending the talk. And jazakumullah khairan Ustadh for taking time out of your schedule. Before we end the talk, we would like to announce 2 things. Firstly, next week, Monday, inshallah, we're going to have another talk titled Youth in a Progressing Society. And the speaker is someone that's extremely well known. He's from the United States, Sheikh Uthman bin Farooq.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah. So inshallah, do stay tuned for that Monday, 8:30 p.m. I believe in this same venue, inshallah. And another event that we have this month, inshallah, is Discover Islam Week. Discover Islam Week. We're having it at the end of the month, inshallah, where we will have 2 days of Dawah workshop and 5 days worth of lectures by 2 speakers, which will be announced soon, inshallah. So jazakumullah khairan everybody. Barakallahu feekum. Ahsanallahu ilaykum fi dunya wal akhirah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam. Streaming. Oh, it's here. Are you recording it or?